All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome everyone to another episode of G Boot 2786. This is Gavin Richard coming to you live today. It's a beautiful day. I'm doing some work from home. Um, I wanted to do this video on yesterday, but I was just got a little busy and just trying to dissect and think of things that's been going on. A lot I wanted to talk about that's been going on, especially recently with the new presidential candidates who have no chance of winning, Kamala Harris and Cory Booker. You know, basically how they have not provided a black agenda, and the shills that we see like Roly Poly, up downtown Angela Rye, and Joy Reid's just taking shots at black Americans. I'll do that, who are not going to be fooled into voting the way that they want. That's not going to happen anymore. We're tired of it. You either bring something to the table or you don't get our vote, period. And every other group practices that. But I don't want to get into that today. Uh, we'll save that a little bit later. I wanted to talk about, you know, most of you have heard about Liam Neeson and some comments that he made. Comments that he made regarding there was a sexual assault, a rape of a female friend of his from the I guess it was in the 70s. He said it was over 40 years ago. And apparently this friend was raped according to what she says. Now, we don't know the whole details and the story of what happened, but supposedly she was raped, and she didn't describe who it was except that it was a black person, or this is what Liam says. And Liam is doing this interview. Uh, he did this interview. I can't think of the news article. Let me show it right quick. Let me pull it up. Excuse me one second. So basically, he's been in hot water today, in the last couple of days, because the interview that he did, a junket interview, he confessed his basically that he was going to murder any black person that he saw because of the rape of his friend. And he said he went out for several days looking for someone in the black areas, basically looking for someone to start something so he could murder them or kill them. And he did this for several days, and his treatment for it was, as he described, he sought help with a priest, and he had prayer, and he does power walking. This was his words on Good Morning America when he appeared there on the other day. So he did this interview with Clements McKellen. Clements McKellen is a writer. Let's see. She appeared on Good Morning America. She did an interview with him, a press junket over his latest movie, which is called Cold Pursuit. And he did this interview. I believe he was asked by this journalist this journalist about how he prepared for this movie project, and he stated it was based off of a real life revenge story which he thought about that happened to him back in the day. So his movie that is coming out now, Cold Pursuit, is about a father who seeks revenge against the men responsible for the murder of his son. Now, if you notice, Liam Neeson, ever since he did the movie Taken, he's been in all of these action movies where he basically plays the same character. He was in Flight Plan. He was in Taken 1, Taken 2, Taken 3, where he hunts his daughter's killer, his daughter's kidnappers. Flight Plan, he's being set up for being a terrorist. The Commuter, he set it up being a murderer and terrorist. So he plays the same fucking roles every year, every movie. I guess being in his 60s and no other movie options coming to him, that's all he does. I remember he played Hannibal in The 18, which wasn't a great movie. Well, it was good, but it wasn't, as successful as I think that they hoped it would be, because they were going to actually do a sequel. But when you don't have enough money, or the studios don't get enough on the returns, it doesn't turn out that way. But long story short, uh, he said he was shocked and embarrassed and ashamed for the way that he thought. And he went explaining why he's not a racist. Well, let me just say this. This is actually a good thing. And by that I mean we get to see just what many of these devils think about black Americans underneath the facade and the appearance of what's the word I'm looking for? The appearance of, innocence. Maybe that's a strong word, but this facade, but basically that they're docile and that they're all nice and smile on your face. But you had underneath all of that a monster. Now, to our knowledge, he has not acted on, to what I know of, hasn't acted on these feelings that he had. Do I think he'll stop working? No, he's not going to stop working. He'll probably end up like Mel Gibson. He'll go and get some quote unquote therapy, and he'll come out fine and have another movie deal. Probably get an Oscar nominated role 3 years later down the line, playing an old father who, you know how these Oscar movies are, who loses his wife and family and tries to cope with drugs or something like that. Something that they do, those old white men roles where they get back in, where they'll get back into making Oscar nominated films, because that's actually what happened with Mel Gibson when he had that rant with his wife when he said, "I hope you get raped by a pack of niggers." And here, unlike what Mel Gibson said, Liam Neeson is saying that he actually wanted to kill someone. Now, the way I think of it, and when I say it's a good thing, is that we see basically, as I stated earlier, what many people, or most, not maybe not all, are thinking about black Americans and the stereotypes that they have of black people. Now, people were shocked and accosted by what he said, and it was shocking. But Liam Neeson is not going to stop making movies. Uh, you know, do I think he would have reacted the way he did if this was an Irishman or Scot or a Welsh? Probably not. When I see people making excuses for him and defending him. I'm not necessarily. I'm not gonna say I'm not too worried about it. It's not. It's something in the past, but at the same time, I'm glad he did say it, because we're having this. Yeah, we're having this discussion. So that's one positive thing out of it. You know, personally, this is why you got to stay strapped too when you have motherfuckers saying stuff like this. But he actually went out with the intentions to kill, which, unlike what Mel Gibson was saying, which was horrid, Liam Neeson actually states he plotted to murder. And I think that's what really catches many people off guard. It's very disturbing that he would think that. But, people think that. And, instead of saying, I wanted to murder the man that raped my friend or my family member, whoever this person was, he wasn't doing that. He wanted to actually kill any person he saw who was black. And, you know, that's some sick shit. Now I think about it, that's some sick shit. But that's the world we live in too. That's the stereotypes that have been fed day in and day out when we watch television, we watch movies, in our music, everywhere. They have this notion and this idea of this is what black people are. Excuse me. And Liam Neeson confirmed that. I remember first movie I actually saw him in. Liam Neeson's been around for a long time. He was actually in the movie Dark Man. I remember it's my earliest memory of him as a kid. That was in what 1990. Sam Raimi, the guy that made the Evil Dead franchise and Spider Man, he created that role for Liam Neeson. And I know he also was in Clint Eastwood's movies, the Deadpool, which was the Last Dirty Harry, and Jim Carrey was in that. Uh, he was in the Next of Kin. Those movies I remember. So he's been around. Liam Neeson's been around for a long time. You know, I don't know if he actually